Good morning. How's everybody
Morning.
doing today?
It's going. It's the middle of the week.
Let's get it going. This is the request from Jennifer this morning.
You put me on the spot. That was the first song that came to my mind.
Yeah, it's a celebration for sure. We can't play too much of the song because if we do, then we get banned because we don't own the rights to the music. So we have to play it safe.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Doing good.
You guys sound like good. You're doing great.
Fantastic.
Great.
Amazing. Amazing.
Doing good.
Yeah, well, I know that today, like we were talking about, the first day of fall, and you would think the weather would be cooler,
Right?
but it's not. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they have the seasons mixed up. Seriously. They need to push them back.
Yeah.
Good morning, Letty.
Good morning.
Yeah, 100 degrees is what it's gonna get to. And if you are going to Temecula, it's gonna be a 150. It says it's a warning. You shouldn't go.
You have plenty of wine. Drink some wine. And you'll be fine.
Darn. There's plenty of shade. And I think we know how to cool down.
Yeah. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Letty. No, I think that's hilarious. We actually, it's so funny because I was telling you guys I wanted to talk about that, like, about loyalty. And it's funny because loyalty, means different things to different people.
Mhm.
And oops, sorry, that was the wrong one. and it's just super important. Like I said, everybody's different, on how they live their lives and, what's important to them, what isn't important to them. So I just wanted to get your guys' feel. Like, what are your thoughts when someone says, loyalty? Are you loyal? What does that mean to you?
I mean, like you said, everybody has a different verse of what loyalty is. To me, I feel like you're committed to, whether it's a friendship or a relationship or a commitment, and that you're loyal to what you committed to. Whatever aspect of it is, whether it's work or friendships. And I think when you kind of side from that, for me personally, when I consider myself a pretty loyal person, and when somebody's not loyal to me, and if I consider you a loyal person to me, I distance myself from that person. So I don't get revenge. I don't hold grudges. I just distance myself, and that's that. I don't, I choose not to poison my life with with bitterness, but yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, there's no point, in doing that at all. Like you said, just move on. And there's different people, like they say, different people come into our lives at different times. Hi, Katie. Good morning.
Hi, Katie.
So I think that it's all about how you handle and how you look at things. You're going to have, the people that you've known for a long time, who are your friends. A lot of times people think loyalty is long time relationships, and it really isn't. It can be someone that you just meet. Are you going to be loyal to them, not because you've been friends with them since junior high, right, but because, that's just who you are as a person. So I think everyone's definition, is definitely, different. But for me, I'm the type of person that I give what I get. I'm totally open. I love people. I love building relationships, and relationships, loyalty and trust, it all works together. It goes hand in hand. So I think it's important to always, remember that, give your best always. And not everybody's going to want to give that back. It's okay.
Mhm.
because it doesn't change who you are. Don't let someone else change who you are. Just continue to be who you are. And if it doesn't serve, the relationship doesn't serve with that person, then you just move forward and give it to someone who is going to, reciprocate the equalness of, however it is that you are. So what
Yeah.
about you, Jennifer? She's looking like, whoa.
That's deep. No, I mean, I think loyalty is being committed to whatever promises that you've made to a person, whether it is, your spouse, your significant other, your friendship, even work relationships. I think if you make a promise to behave in a certain way, then you're loyal to that. Even when that person's not around, you need to be able, whatever you say about that person, you should be able to say when they're in front of you and away from you. And when people are not loyal, like Brenda said, I just kind of cut off the toxic relationships because that can affect you. It can affect everything you do. It can affect you in your, even if it's a friend, but it can affect how you treat your kids, your husband, because you're upset about
Mhm.
something else. So it's just better to get rid of toxic relationships, people that are not loyal to you. And um, it's a tough subject. When we talked about it earlier, this was going to be our topic. My first thought was dogs, because they are so loyal. I mean, my dog is always right next to me, no matter what. If I'm there, he's there, and he'll do, whatever we tell him to do. And that's because they run in packs, and that's their nature. But loyalty is just being by that person's side through all of it, whatever it is, good and bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's, it can, like I said, there's a variety of different ways. And a lot of times, people think that, friendships have to be pretty, and always good. But it's like anything, it's a relationship. There's going to be times where I might say, Jennifer, you know what, you could be doing so much better. I'm going to push you. You know what, why don't you do this? I know I'm always in Brenda's ear about Brenda. You could be doing it like this, you could be doing it like that. But it's because I truly want to see, there's more there, and I know there is. And a lot of times certain people who don't really aren't really your friends, or they really don't care, they just want to keep you where you are, is just kind of like, you're fine. Oh, why are you working so hard? Why are
Yeah.
you, and I get that a lot, why do you work so much? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And it's like, what, it's my choice. It's what I want to do. So I just kind of feel sometimes that I don't have that support. So being loyal comes with that as well, is just supporting, and that's why we have phases and we have different people that come into our lives, because for every phase in our life, we have, a different set of friends
Right.
that are going to, help us to push us to the next level.
Yeah.
So I think all of that is super important, just to realize that, you can do whatever you want to do. And I have friends that I've had since junior high. I love them to death, and I'm still loyal to them, just as I am to my, to the people that are around me today. Because, like I said, it's just who I am. And
Yeah.
so I guess the moral of the story is just continue to be who you are, regardless of, how someone else treats you. Just do you, be you, and
Yeah.
be loyal to yourself, number one.
Yeah.
Don't change
Well,
who you are.
to me, I think that it comes to a point where, like you said, where certain things you give what you get, kind of, right, or you give as you receive, the same kind of perspective. But to me, I feel like I've learned throughout the years that I have many friends that I have in different, I wouldn't say categories, but I know what friends I can share certain things with that I know are going to support it and be 100% like, your backbone. And then certain friends that are going to be like, well, why do you have to do that? Like, that's like, kind of questioning your growth, or questioning, your
Yeah.
something that you're trying to better or change in your life, whether it's good or bad. And I don't mind constructive criticism, but when it comes off different because they don't want to see you have the growth or change, then I do mental notes, like, okay, I know this person, certain things I cannot, and it's not that I'm not their friend, or I wouldn't support their wins, but I know that not everybody's built the same to celebrate each other's wins, and And that to me, I think is part of loyalty. That if you can't be that friend that or person or boss or whoever that supports somebody else's wins, then I know what category to put you. you know,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
that
So just,
loyalty is not the same. So
yeah. So,
People don't like to see change. Some people don't like to see change, and
right
as you grow, they don't know how. I
to
don't know.
evolve.
They don't know how to evolve or how to respond to it. But
Right.
I have found that in the past few years as well, that the people you think would be there for you and support you and encourage you and so on and so forth, they're the ones that are like way in the back, not even saying anything. And
Yeah.
it really makes you, it really made me, just kind of question who you surround yourself with. Like they say, who you surround yourself with, and that's going to
And that's what
build.
I said.
Yeah,
The loyalty shows. And for me,
right.
I'm like, okay, if you're not willing to support that aspect of my life, whether
Uh-huh.
it's, work, personal, whatever, then, where's the loyalty at?
Yeah,
Because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? That's not
yeah.
the type of person I am. So I don't want that energy in my
Mhm.
immediate circle, so I start distancing myself from stuff like that because it's toxic. At the end of the day, it does change the way you are or the way you evolve around other people that might be supporting you, and you're over here with this like dark cloud over you with this person that isn't so loyal to you, you know
Yeah,
and in
yeah,
our business, we come across where a lot of clients are not as loyal to us, or they'll swap us in a heartbeat, and loyalty is tough. And that, I think, in our business, it makes us definitely feel like bipolarish when it comes to business and loyalty, from our clients, and carrying that on top of your personal stuff, and like, loyalty from everywhere else is a tough balance. So
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's in every aspect, business, friendships, relationships, different things. But yeah, no, that's definitely good to hear. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for watching. Um, so yeah, so we'll go ahead and get into the numbers. I know everyone out there is probably seeing, dependent upon the area you're in, the city you're in, the state you're in, but you're starting to see, different things happening in the market. And so we kind of wanted to go over that with you guys, so you guys know kind of where we're at, what the numbers look like. So we will get into the numbers, and then we'll go dive in a little bit deeper. But currently, right now, the market in Chino is definitely still strong. I can tell you that we took a listing, and we within 24 hours we received 18 offers, I should say, well over asking price. So the market is definitely there, but the key factor is pricing. Pricing's always been a good, is an important factor. But I think in the market that we are diving into now, it's going to be even more important to understand, and pricing is so important. A lot of times, sellers, of course, want more. We believe our homes are worth more than what we would even want to pay for them, but we have to be smart about it if our goal is to, in fact, sell it for the most money. So in Chino right now, we have 26 active listings on the market, 49 closed. I'm sorry, 49 under contract and 66 closed. So we definitely still don't have a lot of inventory. Okay, if you take note, there's still not a lot of inventory, okay, out there. But the homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, 18 days opposed to, 5, 6 days. And in this particular last 30 days, the pricing is still above, which the list price is 711 and sales is 820. So again, dependent upon the property condition and everything else, you're gonna still see, obviously overbidding and some competition in those markets. So that's Chino. So in Ontario, we have 43 active listings on the market, 78 under contract, 73 closed, average listing price 629, and average sales price 614. So again, if you notice in Ontario, there is a little bit of difference between, sale and list. There's a lot of factors that could be involved. It could be, homes being overpriced. There's just a lot of different factors, with an average days on the market, 16 days. And Harupa Valley, currently we have 20 active listings on the market, 60 under contract, 42 closed. Again, look at the numbers. There's still not a lot of inventory. Average list price 651 with sales price 636 and average days on market 16. So again, you are noticing that before we always had the sales price well above the list price. You're noticing it's going to either be the same or or just slightly, below. And again, there's a lot of factors. So it's just not that the homes are, the prices are dropping, because that's not necessarily the case. They still are, getting market value for the homes.
Okay, so I have Rancho, and I agree. Pricing is definitely the key to how long your home is going to sit on the market, and obviously the condition of your home. I have Rancho, so we have 72 new listings in Rancho, 105 pending, average list price 780, and average sale price 771. And then number of homes sold 98, with average days on the market 18. So yeah, that number is slowly getting higher on the average days on the market. But as a listing agent, I will say that for number of days on the market for my listings, we try to be very, or at least I try to be pretty smart about who we put into escrow, and not just taking it off the market, putting whoever, and then having to go back on the market, because those days still continue to count. So once it's listed and we do get offers like that, I do make sure that the right qualified buyer gets into that house. So we're not adding more days. So that's Rancho. Then we have San Bernardino, 95 new listings in San Bernardino, 183 pending, average list price 449, average sale price 450. So right at their list price is what they're selling averagely in San Bernardino. Average days on the market 18 days, and number of homes sold in San Bernardino 167. And then we have Redlands, 49 new listings in Redlands, 56 pending, average list price 633, and average sale price 600,000. I don't know if that's truly right, but that's what the numbers show.
Yeah.
Average days on the market 21, and the number of homes sold 49. Then we have Highland. And in Highland, we have 26 new listings, 44 pending, 524,000 average list price, and the average sale price 556, which is a pretty good number above the list price. Average days on the market 19 days, and 43 homes have sold in Highland.
Let's move to Colton. Colton has 14 active listings on the market in the last 30 days. 26 went pending under contract, and 24 closed. The average listing price is 456, sales price 447, and the average days on the market were 15 days on the market. What I think is happening with the pricing is that sellers are pricing high because of what the market has done the past year, but buyers, as we see, the average sale prices are a little lower than the listing prices on some of these cities. And I think it's just because sellers are reaching and buyers are saying, no, we're not going that high anymore. That's what I see happening, and why we're seeing those numbers, the sales price actually less. But like Sonia said, it's still market value. You're still getting market value. Before, people were not, you were paying far above market value. Now the market's starting in some areas to level itself out. My next city, I think, is Rialto. Rialto had 40 active listings on the market, 67 went under contract, and 59 closed. And see, Rialto is different. You see the average list price of 505, but the sales price is 515. So, and 16 days on the market. So I just think it depends on area and numbers and what has closed. Like Brenda mentioned, I'm not sure if these numbers are quite right. It's because I think our market is in a shift. So we're
Mhm.
numbers are they're all over the place, but not. They're right there, but some are higher, some are lower, and that's why it's important to talk to a professional to find out. Don't go on Zillow's estimate and those types of things because they don't take into all the consideration of the neighborhood, the condition of the home. There's so many variables in the pricing of your home. And my last city is Fontana, my hometown. We had 74 active listings on the market. 131 went under contract and 117 closed. We had an average list price of 581, sales price of 584, and 16 days on the market in Fontana. That's your market update,
Yeah,
guys.
that's your market update. So, I'm still getting calls from sellers, asking, is it a good time to sell? Should I sell? And again, yes, it's, and everyone's situation is different. So the most important thing is to sit down and analyze why you would sell. Where would you be going? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? But I can tell you that if you're expecting to list high and, get all this activity, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Right now, we are, it's important right now as when I love challenges. So this is like the market that excites me because in the previous market anybody can sell the house because it sold itself. And
Yeah.
so, you have so many people who are willing to work for someone for nothing, because there was really nothing involved. I mean, yes, there's still, when you're in the transaction, it's important to still have a professional along your side to make sure that, they're negotiating properly for you. They're reviewing the contract, they're staying, in contract. Like there is still so many things, but sometimes the seller is just focused on the dollar amount, just the dollar amount, the dollar amount. So that's why it's always been important to hire a professional. But I think during these times is when you're going to see who the true professionals are and who they aren't, because now you're going to have, competition as to, these sellers aren't dumb. They have the information in at hand. They can go online and figure out a lot of things. But again, it's a full-time job. So is it something they want to do alone? Do they need a professional, or do they want a professional, next to them, to negotiate and to, to show them the patterns and what it is that they need to do to be successful, to get the most money, for their home. So again, it's just dependent. We study the market daily, and I'm seeing a lot of overpricing. A lot of people are now feeling like, oh shoot, we kind of were waiting till the top, and you kind of miss it. You kind of missed it. Unless your home is unique, it's in mint condition, then yeah, you're still going to get multiple offers because people are still looking for a great home. There's still a lot of buyers out there, but buyers are tired. They're not going to be fighting like they were. And I see that with, certain agents who kind of, counter us and are saying, well, we have multiple this, we have multiple that. And they're trying to counter like, 3 or 4 months ago. And it's like, yeah, that's not happening anymore. And we don't move forward, and we're still seeing the home on the market. So again, it's like, you're not fooling anybody. I do this full time. We know what's going on, and so we know what the possibilities are. So, but like I said, to me, it's definitely a great market. There's a lot of buyers that want to be in their home before the end of the year. They want to celebrate Christmas. And I think a lot of people ask, where do these buyers come from? Life happens every day, whether it's marriage, divorce, death, job transfers, life is happening. So people need to make, moves, sometimes whether they want to, sometimes whether they don't. But you're going to, constantly see, movement in real estate and a lot of investing. I think a lot of people after the pandemic, people normally that were afraid of investments are starting to realize, what, it's something I do want to do. So you're seeing a lot of that as well, which is good. Real estate wealth is great. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
By no means has the market slowed down, but I think it is important for people to be educated, especially like you were saying, Sonia, because it is a challenging market because of the shift. People have a expectation of what 3 or 4 months ago looked like, and that doesn't look like that anymore. But you can still sell your house for a good profit at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people, if not all, should have equity in their home at
Yeah.
the way the market is right now. So if someone is thinking about selling their home, they just have to be open to what the market currently is and not what it was 4 months ago, and you'll still make money and hopefully be able to do whatever your next step is in life, whatever that is, wherever your life journey is taking you. That's why we're here to guide you through the way.
Absolutely. Do you
Great.
want to add anything, Brenda, before we move on?
I agree.
I concur. Yeah. So just like I said, before you make any decisions or, or do anything, that's why we're here, free consultations. We're here to guide you, to show you, maybe right now is not the right time. Maybe there's something else that, has to be done. So we want to make sure that, your plan A fits into your plan B and, just everything else. So with that being said, we want to welcome our guest today. Let me go ahead and add her. Here we go. You're on mute, Natalie. She's on mute.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you today?
It's hot. It's supposed to be fall. So I'm over here sweating because I just moved into my new place. It doesn't have AC yet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it is hot.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
I'm excited for fall as well. So, I mean, we'll pretend I got some fall decor around here myself. So we'll look forward to it, even though it feels like it's still summer.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and just go for it.
So hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Bueno. I'm actually affiliated with Bueno & Company now, and I'll explain how I transitioned from Bueno Loans to Bueno & Company. And that's because we added a couple different divisions to my current loan programs. As some of you may know, some of you may not, I'm a private lender. So I do non-traditional financing. When it comes, you think of hard money, right? You think of private money, you think of bridge loans, you think of stated income. That's me. Foreign national, love those loans. Anything where borrowers cannot qualify traditionally. And there's a lot of non-QM products out there as well. I actually don't even do non-QM anymore. So basically, like, I am the last resource, right? And I'm okay with that because I love to help my clients out in any way that I can. So when we come across those borrowers that are foreigners and they have bank statements from a different country and they just are being told that they can't use it, they don't have credit, hi, I'm available. I'll take those loans all day, right? So I help them come in with a 30-year fixed program. Maybe, it's not the best rates, not the best fees, but at the end of the day, it's something that can get them in, take advantage of buying, getting some equity into the home, and then refinancing a couple years later, sometimes even a year later if they're really well prepped. So that's what I do. I added a commercial division to my company as well. So that was something I was really excited about and really looking forward to since the last time I've been on here. And the commercial rates are just as great as the conventional rates. If any of you guys are familiar with that, I mean, I locked in a client at 1.99%. No joke. So, I mean, they were 800 credits, super great rents, right? Obviously, they fit the mold, the cookie cutter commercial client portfolio, but, they still got that amazing rate. So super excited that I added that. We're doing 30-year fixed commercial, right? A lot of them are adjustable. If you guys are familiar with commercial, that's most banks, Chase, Bank of America, the big banks, they're going to do what we call variable programs as well. So that's very normal on the commercial side. And other than that, I think, my programs, if anything, rates have gotten better. One thing I just want to highlight on the hard money side, I think people get a really bad idea of hard money. I personally like to call myself a private lender because the difference, does anyone know the true difference between private money and hard money? I'd love to know if anyone knows the difference. I asked this last time.
Uh, no, I mean, explain to us what it is.
Of course. So private money is like with private investors, and hard money usually means that there's a prepayment penalty associated with the loan. So my private investors don't require prepayment penalty, whereas the hard money fund, or sometimes it's foreign money, sometimes they do require a a prepayment penalty up to 6 months. I'm sure you guys have heard those terms before. So
Yes.
really, the only time I deal with those guys is if it's a land loan or if it's a second position hard money loan. And that's because those are higher risk loans. So prepayment penalty is pretty much non-negotiable on those types of products. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I do have one investor that actually does require no prepay no matter what, but their rates are also through the roof. So they'll, give and take.
Right, absolutely. Just depends on their goals, what it is that they, what they plan to do. Tell us, what is your most popular product that you're seeing that's, that you're using a lot?
Stated income is really hot right now. I know a lot of borrowers are just struggling to get their offer accepted with traditional loans, and especially people that maybe have visas or, I-10, right? That's a loan product that I really specialize in, especially in our market, right? I deal with a lot of I-10 clients, and we're a very diverse market in SoCal, right? So it's not just Latinos, Mexicans, right? Like I'm dealing with people from Dubai, I'm dealing with people from different parts of the world. And I feel like this product is really awesome. So I'm just gonna throw the specs out there. It's 30% down for a purchase, 65% for a refinance. And the rates start at 6.99. It's not the greatest rate, but again, I am a stated income, no tax return program, right? There are programs out there that can call themselves stated. They may still ask for some tax returns. They may ask for reserves. They may ask for some additional documentation. I can take as low as a 600 credit with that program. I could probably take the low if it's a really nice home or if there's an explanation for the borrower. An example, I had a client that was just building their credit, so their credit was awful, right? But they were new, so we went ahead and justified that. I've taken screenshots of bank statements. I mean, we're the very flexible lender on this program. And the best part about it is that it is a 30-year fix with no prepayment penalty. I really think that's a selling point for a lot of these clients, because there's a lot of programs, like I mentioned, that are out there, and then they're gonna require 3 years prepay, or they're gonna require, or it's only a 3-year term, or whatever it may be. So I really like this program because it gives a lot of those cash borrowers that were like, oh man, I could have bought an $800,000 home, but all I have is $600,000. Well, I'll take them because they'll put 30% down and they can just save the rest, right? And then maybe in a couple of years they can pay it off in cash, or like I said, refinance into a better program. So that's, believe it or not, that's been a really, really hot product throughout this market, because it is just something that a lot of these people that would have done all cash, that were kind of struggling, they're getting their offers accepted because we are closing these loans between 14 to 21 days. So it's almost like a hard money loan.
Okay. And in regards to, are they interest only loans?
No, they are PITI.
PITI.
Yeah, so it's something that they can write off. If they wanted it to be interest only, I do have a different product that's available for that.
Okay.
I don't recommend it though. I mean, for those types of clients, they really are the people that are trying to pay it off. And so they'd rather reduce their principal. But sometimes you're right. Sometimes they want to just keep the payment as low as possible. So in very rare occasions, I will get that option available.
Okay, perfect. And I know you mentioned land, like what, because I know a lot of times we get, calls on land. What are your typical terms on a land loan?
So the typical terms for a land loan, just so everybody kind of has a good understanding of land, because I get this a lot too. So land is great, right? Because you can build, you can develop. If there's the right zoning, I mean, hey, it could be 50 units, 100 units, right? It could be one single family home. And with Senate Bill 9, oh man, the floodgates have opened, right? So the investors on my side are like cheering and happy. Some people are not happy about that. I think from an investor standpoint, we're like, heck yes, right? But we are also getting feedback that it could potentially inflate the market even more. But my argument to my clients and to my investors has always been this: are people going to pay more rent for that? Probably not. And we have to go back to rental income investment products, right? So I always look at it from a backwards perspective, where is the consumer going to do that? Is the average renter going to do that, right? But going back to land, our land product is really a private product. It's a 1-year term, typically 12 months, and it's always going to be 50% of the sales price. So 50% loan to value, LTV. That's very, very common for most land lenders. There are a few occasions where I have some land lenders that are like, you know what? It's Newport Beach. I love it. If I get stuck with this, I'll develop it myself, or I'll just put my umbrella out there and go enjoy the view, right? They'll go up to 65% if they really love the location, or if they feel like it's just like someone's picking up a property in Los Angeles for just super under market value, right? Prime time location, usually flat. If it's something where it's hillside, there's a lot of brush, maybe it's in the middle of somewhere, a city that's not very desirable, right? I call it metropolitan areas. So if it's in a non-metropolitan area and it's hillside and it's brush, hey, that investor might even decrease it to 40% LTV, okay? They might not even want to do 50%. So we have to look at it of how desirable it is. The next step with land is to look and see with the seller, are there any plans, entitlements, anything, right? Has there been any sort of work done with the city to even get it to where it needs to be? Because if there is, then that's more valuable. So obviously, even if they're not approved, I still have investors that will take a look at pending items. And if they see anything pending, they're still going to think that that's a step ahead than just raw land, right? Because if it's raw land, it's 50%. And the reason people always ask me, oh man, why don't your investors go any higher? I wish they would go up to like 70%. Well, you have to look at it. Sonia, if you inherited a piece of land in Hemet and it's hillside and it's brush, how long is that going to take you to sell it? Seriously, it's land with nothing done, right?
Right.
I mean, you have to really look at it from their perspective. And if you live, let's just say it's even further. Let's say it's, you know, all the way in Apple Valley, past Apple Valley. Are you going to want to go drive out there to go meet with the inspectors and check with the city? No, right? And so the same thing with my investors. They don't want to have to go anything outside of their comfort zone, because the moment they do, they're going to get a bad taste and they're not even going to want to do it anymore. So that's something that I always tell everyone, look at it as if you were lending your own money. And that's something that I've personally gotten better at, because every time I put my thinking cap on as an investor, I'm always thinking like, would I do this, right? So it's 50% LTV, rate usually starts at 9.99% interest only, and fees are to be determined because it kind of depends on the loan size and obviously the condition and the borrower, really, you know, what they're planning to do. But other than that, I think I hit all the bullet points.
And what's the term? How long is that?
Usually a 1-year term. I do have some investors that will go up to 3 years, depending on, like I had a client that bought a piece of land in Long Beach and they wanted to use it for their trucking business. So they actually didn't want to build on it, right? They just wanted to park the trucks there. And so we explained that to the investor, and he was like, well, he's not going to pay this off because he's going to need at least a year to get the trucking business going. Because I'm not comfortable with a 12-month term. I'm going to for sure give him a 24-month term, right? So that was something that we kind of thought outside the box and were able to do that for that client.
That's awesome. So right now that you brought up the Senate Bill 9, is that in regards to that? So let's just say you have someone who's interested in using, you know, and you taking advantage of that and being able to, you know, build that second unit on their property. Is that, it's like a regular, are you looking at future value, you know, with it built? Are you looking at current value? How do you determine the 65% LTV for, like you said, a refinance?
Okay, so 65% goes back to the stated income. When it comes to development, that's a totally different program. So our development construction loans, in fact, I'm going to be blasting out a multifamily construction product today. So this is something that for those terms, they're always kind of TBD. And I say that because it's really tough to give the same value on something that could be developed in Newport versus something that can be developed in Hemet, right? We and even then, is it a good part of Newport? I mean, most parts are, right? But even Hemet, right? There's up and coming areas. I have a client right now that just bought 3 sets of units in Hemet in the last 3 months. He bought a 4-plex, a 5-plex, and a triplex. And I was like, good for you. He went ahead and upgraded them, and he's already he put Section 8 tenants in there, refinanced it, boom, done. Amazing. I don't know how he got them, but I'm proud of him, right? And we actually helped him because we did no appraisal. So that was a benefit for him. But going back to development and Senate Bill 9, development is really kind of a case-by-case basis. And it also really comes back to a borrower, right? Their experience. It's like a first-time driver. Am I gonna wanna let a first-time driver drive in my new Tesla? Absolutely not, right? I might let them drive in my old beat-up Jetta, right? But I don't know if I wanna let them drive my Tesla just yet. So that's really the mindset of a developer, is how much they're gonna put on the ceiling for the LTV for future value. We are more future value driven, and we do look at comps to see, okay, like Sonia's saying that this is gonna be worth 2.2 million, and this is how much she's anticipating per square foot for her construction budget. Let's see if these numbers even line up. And really the investors pay the most attention to the bid sheet. They are 100% looking at that, who you're working with, general contractor. They look at the license of the general contractor. I mean, these are things that it's really like kind of multi steps with single family development and multifamily development. I mean, there's a series of steps that we have to hit to make sure that we are evaluating it correctly. Yeah, so we do look at the comps. We do send an as-is appraisal sometimes, depending on the investor and the experience. And of course, the liquidity, because the investor, of course, is always looking at it. If I get stuck with this, how easy is this going to be for me to finish this product? If something goes south, how easy is it going to be for this borrower to finish, right? They're always looking at it from a risk perspective. Worst case scenario, how can they still make money?
Right. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you guys have any questions or scenarios or anything that you want to ask Natalie about? Not right now? No? Okay. Well, I can tell you that I know I've run a lot of scenarios by Natalie. She's very, she gets back to you right away. So, she'll say, you know what, we can do this, we can do that. So I do definitely highly encourage you before, let's just say your lender says, I can't do this. Like she's saying, she's your go-to if they can't fit into that box. And then you can see if it's something that, you're able to do. It's always great to have a connection and, a resource, where you can send your clients. So if you guys are welcome to follow her. She's at Bueno Loans on Instagram. She does always post different products that are available. And I actually met Natalie through a women's group that she's part of, which I was invited to be part of, which they're very strong and growing. They're out in like the LA, Downey, Montebello area. Very, very great vibe. Everybody's high energy and wants to be successful. So it was nice to be a part of that and, making, developing relationships out of that. So I encourage you guys also to definitely network, meet people. And again, if you guys have anything, for her, just let her know. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before you go or.
Yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, I'm Bueno Loans, but transitioning over to Bueno & Company. And the last reason, not only did we add commercial to our side, but we actually are doing off-market wholesaling as well. So I have a lot of wholesale investors that are both agents, non-agents, and they're sending me deals pretty much daily. So if anyone's interested in joining our off-market list, feel free to reach out. We can add you guys to the list for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again, Natalie. Appreciate you joining us. And, I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. So again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Natalie.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So really quick, you guys, I just, you know what, I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about, and actually, that was actually one of them, because I did have a seller call me as well, in regards to the Senate Bill 9 that was just passed last week by Gavin Newsom, our governor. So basically, what that means to, and again, it's passed by California, but again, there's still city restrictions, so they still got to go to the city and make sure that everything's up and up with their city. But it basically, because of our housing crisis, they are allowing single family homes to actually become multifamily zoning. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be in a multi-unit zone. Now in California, they're allowing you to build an additional units, depending, again, lot size. All of that stuff is gonna, there's gonna be a lot of factors involved. But if that is something that your clients are interested in, because maybe they don't want to move and they have enough land to build another home in the back where before the city didn't allow it. Well, now, because of this passing, they're going to definitely have more opportunities to build on their own property, so they don't have to move. Because some people do want to move because they want a bigger home for, their mother-in-law or, family, their kids or whatever. Well, so that's just, another option. So if you guys want more information about that, I can send it to you guys, but it's important to understand that, because you're going to be asked that a lot, because that was something that just happened.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I don't know if you guys have anything else that you guys want to share, or anything at all. If not, have a beautiful, beautiful week. It's already Wednesday, midday, so the day's gone. And have fun at the winery, Brenda.
Yes, have fun. Bring me some wine.
Bye, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.